TIFU by never using my core muscles for 30 years, by user blackened 1. This is probably gonna sound dumb and that's because it is. My balance has always been shitty. I attributed that to the fact that during puberty I grew 1 foot taller in a single year. I figured my body never got adjusted to the new equilibrium because it happened so quickly. I never gave it any thought beyond that. So one day I was stretching before a run and had moved on to the flamingo stretch. Quad stretch where you stand on one leg. My wife was there and she likes to poke fun at my lack of balance. It's just some light-hearted ribbing, it's no big deal. So I was hopping on 1 foot and flailing my arms. My wife was laughing at me and she uttered these fateful words. "Wife, it's like you're not using your core at all." Me, a dumbass, why would I use my core? I'm balancing on my leg. Wife, wait, what do you mean? Your balance comes from your core. Me, I'm not using my core, I'm using my legs. Wife, you're not flexing your core at all? Me, no, that's stupid. Why would I need my core to balance on my leg? Wife, flex your core right now. Just do it. So I flexed my abs and I immediately stopped wobbling over and stood upright. Me, hey, that's weird. Wife, have you been balancing without your core this whole time? Me, yeah, I guess so. I didn't think I needed it. Wife, how the fuck have you been balancing without your core? Me, well, badly. I didn't know I needed to do it. Wife, you have to use your core for everything. Why wouldn't you need it to balance? Me, I don't really use my core all that often. Wife, what? So after that I'd just be doing a normal activity, like carrying one of our kids in my arm, and my wife would ask me if I was using my core. So I'd start flexing my core, and my kid would get easier to carry? Or she would ask me how I do something. For instance, how do I get in a car? Well, I bend my legs and just sort of fall backwards into the seat. After a few days of this, something clicked in my brain. I loved sports as a kid. I played them all the time, nearly every day. But I was always bad at them. My balance was awful and I was uncoordinated. I was a terrible swimmer. I was weak. I was so weak, in fact, that I never understood when people would say that men are so much stronger than women. My wife could overpower me when she wanted to. I'd struggle and strain and she would push me back. It was a bit humiliating, but I never let her know that. Well, it took some training, but eventually I started instinctively using my core for everything. I started using it while walking, while lifting things, even just standing in one spot I use my core now. It's been 2 years and I sometimes can't believe the change I've seen. I'm 33 and I'm the strongest I've ever been. I can do things with ease that I used to struggle with. I'm stronger than my wife now, which is an ego boost. I beat my half marathon time by 30 minutes. From 2:20 to 1:50. This summer I started lifting weights to get even stronger. I love how I feel now. My confidence is higher and I'm a happier person. I'm not sure how I never learned to use my core muscles for anything. I do wonder how strong I could have gotten in my 20s if I had been using my body the way I was supposed to. I don't dwell on it. I'm just glad that I was able to change my body when I did. I never would have thought that a playful jibe from my wife would change my life so much. TLDR, I consistently fucked up over a period of 30 years by never using my core muscles for anything and grew up to be a weak, uncoordinated piece of shit. TIFU by masturbating, literally, just masturbating, by user the Tal girl. This happened night before last. I wasn't feeling well all last week, so I hadn't had any sexy time with my or any me time. I'm up for a promotion at work, and have been so stressed I thought I had an ulcer / having a heart attack. My significant other came to take care of me, and when he went to sleep I decided it was finally time to relieve some stress. Everything is going smoothly, I have a fan on for noise and it was dark in the room. As I'm hitting the grand finale, my vibe starts blinking bright as hell cause it's dying, so I quick roll over to hide the light and as I'm peeking, my fucking disc slips and I go from sexy moaning to loud sobs. But, I'm coming and I can't stop so I feel my back slipping more. Boyfriend thinks I've just had an emotional low and isn't registering that I'm stuck in place, lol. Now I've missed 2 days of work, today is the literal day I find out if I got the promotion, had to have a drive visit and 4 prescriptions. TLDR, I had a $200 orgasm. 3/10, will undoubtedly do it again. EDA, I got the call, the promotion is mine. TIFU got drunk at a Christmas party and gave her my room key, by user inso_maniac1. Last week I went to my company's Christmas party, a very fancy even for the 800 plus staff, open bar all night kind of deal. At around 2 am I was standing at the bar chatting up the young lady who is head of HR, she mentioned she needed to get a taxi to go home at some point and I who was already well on my way. Slipped her my spare room key and gave her my room number and said my bed is big enough and I walked away. A bit later she approached me laughing saying it's probably a bit unprofessional for her to sleep over. I was shocked as I at first couldn't remember what I did. I went back to work today again forgetting about the incident only for a good friend to come to me and ask if I have been fired yet. That brought it all back. Do I regret it? Definitely not and I would probably do it again. Dr. propositioned the head of HR for a sleepover. TIFU by drunk texting my boss, but it gets worse, by user Zelda_biatch. So, this all went down last Friday at our company's holiday party. The vibe was immaculate, fancy venue, open bar, and a DJ that clearly had a personal vendetta against silence. Naturally, I got a little too cozy with the tequila shots. Fast forward to midnight, I'm deep in conversation with a coworker about the existential importance of nachos, when my phone buzzes. It's a text from my boss. She was thanking everyone for coming and reminding us to party responsibly. Drunk me thought this was the perfect opportunity to reply with a witty comment. I fired back something along the lines of, "LOL, don't worry boss, I'm responsibly getting lit AF." But, apparently, that wasn't enough for my tequila-soaked brain. No, I had to send a follow-up message. "You're honestly the best boss ever. Like, I'd totally storm a medieval castle for you." Now, sober me could have stopped there. Drunk me, however, decided to double down. I sent a gif of a knight bowing. Yeah, I went full Renaissance fair in a corporate text thread. I woke up the next morning to 3 dots, the dreaded typing indicator. My boss's response? "Glad you're having fun. Let's discuss this on Monday." Needless to say, I spent the entire weekend spiraling. Monday rolls around, and I'm summoned to her office. Turns out, she wasn't mad, but now the entire office refers to me as Sir Party a lot. Dr. Drunk texted my boss during a holiday party, pledged medieval loyalty, and now I'm the office knight in shining awkwardness neutral face. TIFU by thinking ketchup is spicy, by user nightmareeyes_rose. I, 24F, have always been sensitive to spices, not to the point that I'll think black pepper is too hot but close enough. This is especially bad because I'm Hungarian and it's the baseline to like hot food, and most of my family not only likes but adores it. So I've obviously been teased a lot growing up, and I've grown to accept that I just can't really handle spices, even though I've been slowly building up a tolerance, especially the last year. One of the things I toughed fell into this spicy category was ketchup. I always just thought it had a bunch of spices in it, most for flavor, and 1 or 2 to give it a bit of a kick, nothing I can't handle though. I have a full list of spiciness levels, and this fell on the very low end of it. I did notice over the last year that people never really mentioned it being spicy in the slightest, nor were they concerned if I would be able to handle ketchup unless it specifies hot, and my tolerance level didn't seem to affect it. Well, last week we ran out of the ketchup my family uses and we tried a different brand we had in the cupboard, which I definitely tasted as more spicy than our usual brand. I finally mentioned it to my family and asked if ketchup is supposed to taste spicy, and to the surprise of no one, no, it isn't. My family was shocked I never mentioned it, I just thought it was how it was supposed to be and that's why they never mentioned it. So yeah, I'm probably allergic to one of the actual spices used in both brands, but I thought I was just being a weak ass bitch. TLDR, I found out ketchup is not supposed to be spicy, I'm just allergic. Only took me 24 years.